because people always try and blame Floyd for these guys handpicking their opponents. But Floyd was fighting world champions.
Like,
this
don't
is
get me
the
wrong,
difference,
Floyd was,
bro.
but Canelo's worse. Canelo's fighting ridiculous.
Bro, he's fighting bums for no reason. And the one time he did have to step up, he got beat by Bivol. Do you know what I mean? I'm not giving him credit for stepping up to like heavyweight, bruv, because you should have fought Benavidez and you've been running away from that fight all this time. Now we've got to sit here and watch this nonsense of you fighting Scull or whatever it is. No disrespect to the man, because at the end of the day, he's going to get a payday. But bro, these aren't the fights that we want to see. I think Garcia wins this. I think he drops Rolly in the first, and I think he drops in again in the fifth, and I think it's over in the sixth.
So in the first, you know.
Yeah, I think he's bro, that left hook and the hand speed as well from Ryan Garcia is crazy. I think Rolly's I just don't think Rolly's got the skills to deal with what Ryan Garcia has. And as I said, that left hook is something special.
Spartans! What is your profession?
Yes, people, we are back with the man them. As I said, we will be back. Obviously, our all combat sports connoisseur into and our obviously encyclopedia of boxing knowledge, NST, back in the building. Just in case you didn't watch it, head over to the other video where we reviewed the fight between Christopher Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn. And if you have watched it, thank you for coming over to this one, which will be a preview for a pretty stacked card that has happened over the weekend. I mean, a stacked weekend, but it's not just one card, but one card in particular is the one that has some brilliant fights on it. Don't know why it's not been advertised, but we're going to be dissecting and getting through those fights, because one thing I will say is that they are going to be thoroughly entertaining. But as usual, before we start, make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Get the likes up, get the subscriptions up. As I said, no time, share. We are here, and don't forget to join our social media pages as well. The links are in the description. So, people, from the slugfest that we got in the UK last weekend to this upcoming weekend in New York, Times Square, we've got a triple header of welterweight bouts that are coming up. And this is not some nobodies that no one's ever heard of, even though there's one or two fighters on there that I kind of had to look up. I know ST already knew who all of them were. I think there was one that Tooth didn't know. But even still, the names that are on this card are going to be, it is a stats card. People may not be happy with who is on the main event, but at the end of the day, it has high interest. It's going to be highly entertaining. And obviously, the main event of this card is Ryan Garcia versus Rolly Romero in a welterweight bout. Garcia, obviously, mate, what hasn't gone on in this kid's career? And it has barely even started. Obviously, burst onto the scene, then had the massive win over Devin Haney, which then got overturned because he got popped. Tooth, tell me if I'm saying this right, but is it Osterrein? Yeah.
Osterrein.
Got popped for that. So that then became a no contest bout. Obviously, I think everyone actually knew who he was when it was a whole thing with him and Tank. Obviously, he lost that fight. And then Rolly... I can't say this. Rolly Romero, bro, I don't understand how this kid's a boxer. He just seems like a class clown to me, a joker. But same thing. I think the one thing that these two have in common is the fact that we all know them. We've all become aware of them from the fights with Tank Davis, which they both lost. But Tooth, I know these two are your boys, bro. You love these two guys. Just say, what are you expecting from this fight, bro?
Oh, I'm just expecting entertainment, bro. I'm expecting all the shenanigans that comes with a Ryan Garcia fight, which from the face-off apparently seems to be in full motion. So I need to watch that later on tonight to get up to speed. But I wasn't expecting anything less. And Rolly, bruv, that's my guy as well, bruv. Like, bro, this guy is all about antics, jokes. He doesn't even know. This is the beautiful thing about it, bruv. He doesn't even know he's that funny. Like, in his head, he's dead serious. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's
that's what
yeah, bruv. But he just reminds me of Puerto Rican Adrian Broner, bruv, and I love it. Do you know what I mean, bruv? And everyone knows, bruv, AB is in my top 5, Romero's in my top 5, Big Baby Miller's in my top 5, the Ghanaian General's in my top 5 as well. And then, bro,
Uncle Elvis.
Do you know what I mean?
God.
Uncle Elvis is in there, and then Muhammad Ali, bruv. That's my top 5 completed, bro. So,
you're shit talkers, bro. You love shit talkers, bro.
Bro, I love it, bro. But listen, man, he comes out with that funny style as well, like that Mr. Crab boxing style, like. Bro, I'm just expecting to be entertained, bro, and
He boxes
I'm glad.
like he's on special edge, bro. I can't even lie.
Yeah, but do you know what? I think stylistically, this is a good match. This is a matchup which should entertain, bro. Like stylistically, because you got that sort of textbook amateur boxer in Ryan Garcia, who can also has shown in the past he can dish it out as well. In the Devin Haney fight, he stood toe to toe with him, and then you got that
Luke Campbell and all that stuff,
Yeah, of course. And then you got Romero with that sort of street fighter brawler style as well. So it's a good matchup stylistically. So I think it's going to be a banger. I think they're going to put on a show.
I agree with you. I'm expecting this fight. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm expecting this fight to be short. I don't think it goes past 6 rounds. I think the way how these two go about their business, it's not going to last. And personally, actually, we'll get into the predictions after, but I just anticipate this being a short fight. ST, in terms of how both fighters go about it, from a Ryan Garcia perspective, how does he win this fight? And from a Rolly Romero, how does he win this fight?
Garcia is the better boxer of the two, so he needs to use his jab. Garcia's best attribute is his left hook.
Oh yeah,
his left hook is nice.
It's mean, bruv.
It's a very and it's and it's quick. And Garcia has the quicker hands, so if he utilizes that, I think he needs to win. Rolly has power. He has that Neanderthal strength, bro. It's weird. I can't even lie. Once he just needs to be in a position or make himself in a position to catch Garcia, because if he catches Garcia with that punch, you can't even lie. Garcia is known to go down. He will go down. So that's the way I think both can win.
And it's facts. It's facts. Both men have the power to hurt the other. Both men have the power to stop the other. It's going to be one of them ones where it's who connects first, who catches that person clean first. And I don't think it's going to be a case of, it's going to be one shot bang. It's going to be, I think there's going to be multiple drops in this fight, which will culminate in the fight being stopped early. And I think both fighters need this. I think from Ryan Garcia's perspective, he needs it, obviously, because of what transpired in the Devin Haney fight. People, if you don't know, as I said, he got popped for the drugs after beating the shit out of Devin Haney, who we'll get into because he's the other person on this card. Obviously, there was some other stuff that went on outside of boxing where he was kind of looking a bit mad, bruv. So I think in terms of rebuilding his image and trying to get it back on boxing, I think that's why he needs this as well as obviously pushing himself for a world title fight. For Rolly Romero, I think winning this fight, I think it will allow people to take him seriously. He's not in it for the jokes, the fun and games. I think beating Ryan Garcia would potentially do that for him. And the fact that obviously I think you haven't seen it, but there's a clip in the face-off about him and Garcia sparring, and Rolly dealt with him. So Ryan Garcia wants to avenge that, and Rolly wants to obviously repeat that.
Show that to the world.
I think there's a lot on the line for both fighters. Would you not say?
Yeah, 100%. Rolly doesn't really have a name on his record. Do you know what I mean? So what better scout to have than someone like Ryan Garcia? And I love it. I love it because both of these guys hold a bit of name value. I know it's looking like the Gervonta Davis Scrubs like card, but it's really not, bruv. Davis Davis does that to everyone. Do you know what I mean?
From his last fight.
Yeah, of course, not his last one. And arguably, I would say this. Yeah, I know in the last podcast we talked about Barrios, but he was losing that fight until he knocked him out in the last
He
rounds. You
was.
remember?
I'll be honest. He was.
Yeah, remember Floyd jumped in the corner. He was telling him, bro, the judges have got it for Barrios. And then I don't know how he summoned that magical, ungodly power of his to knock him out in the following round, but he did. But yeah, bro, you got to put a bit of credit on Barrios' name as well for taking Davis that far, which hasn't been seen up until his last fight with whoever that dude was. I forgot the guy's name.
Lamont Roach.
Yeah, that's it, Roach. Yeah. But yeah, we digress. I think both of these guys still hold a lot of value in their weight divisions. And for Rolly, like I said, I think it's a little bit more because he's not really got a win against a top opponent on his record.
Yeah, I don't think there's no name of no.
There's no name.
I mean, Barbosa was decent, but Barbosa is an old man.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
he's powerful, and even that stoppage as well was mookie. It should have never been stopped at that time anyway.
Yeah, and then at least, I mean, I know technically on paper, like the win is overturned, but we know Ryan's got Devin on his record.
Yeah, that was a coming of age fight. Yeah. That was a coming of age fight for Ryan. I think that because obviously that shocked everybody because nobody expected him to do that, and I personally think he can do that. I think Ryan is the favorite for this fight against Rolly, but I think what he did to Haney has allowed people to think that he is the favorite for this fight. So it is going to be fascinating. I think who's the other person that Rolly's lost to Tank and Isaac Cruz? Is Isaac Cruz?
Yeah.
I don't know what he's like, ST. So I don't know if that.
But he lives up to his name, Pitbull. He's very small. He throws punches in bunches. He's a pressure fighter, but in the pressure fight, he's got decent technique. He's strong, very strong. So he overwhelmed Rolly, and Rolly doesn't have the know-how to get out of it. He also fought Gervonta Davis, gave Gervonta Davis a tough time as well. Gervonta Davis didn't knock him out.
Oh, so, that's him.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I know who he is. So I think the one thing you say about both of these fighters, whenever they come up, well, again, you got to take the Haney thing out, but they both fought Tank, who's elite, and lost. Obviously, Isaac Cruz seems to be a very good, world level fighter. Obviously, Rolly lost. But obviously, Garcia beating Haney made him prove to the world that he can step up to the plate, and he can. Now, whether you can blame the drugs in the system or not, obviously, Tooth will say yes, you can, which is possibly why. But I think yes, the power is one thing, but I think the manner in which we'll get into because we've got to talk about Haney, but the manner in how he did it, I think, says different. But Tooth, what are you telling me? Who's got this? Who's winning and how, bruv?
Oh man,
this guy's trying to come out with a draw, bruv, because they're both his boys.
Double win, bruv. Somehow, double win, bruv. Look, man, trust me, I like both of them. They're both characters. They're both what the weight class needs. I've had enough of this sort of do you know what I mean? Like the Devin Haneys and these guys, like Shakur Stevenson's, like these guys bring something different. Like for all the professionalism that those guys try to portray, you've got anarchy with Ryan Garcia.
Which the boxing needs. Boxing needs characters.
Yeah, it does. It needs characters like that, bruv. So I'm happy they're both fighting each other, but and it's got nothing to do with ability or breaking it down or anything. I want Rolly to get this one, bruv. I really want Rolly to get this one, bruv. Because then it will put him up there with the rest of them. Do you know what I mean? It will put him up there with the rest of them. But yeah, bruv, if I'm speaking from the heart, it's Rolly. If I'm speaking from the head, it's likely going to be Garcia, bruv. He's got too many weapons. Do you know what I mean? He's got a lot in his arsenal to deal with someone like Romero. And it just kind of stems back to that amateur pedigree that he has. But yeah, I'm hoping for a Rolly win.
No, I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. I know they're your boys, and I think what you said. Yeah, I think what you said makes sense. Rolly needs it more than Garcia does. So I completely understand that. ST, what are you telling me?
I'm going Garcia win if I'm being honest. I think Rolly leads with his head too much. I think Garcia is a bit too skillful for him, personally. Like I would love it if Rolly wins. That would be hilarious.
Bro, the shithousery. Oh my
Bro,
days.
you be talking nonsense. I would love it, but I don't think it will happen. Like respectfully. I think Garcia stops him in like 6 rounds, if I'm being honest. But hopefully he proves me wrong. He can prove me wrong, but I think Garcia is too strong for him, man.
Also, one thing I forgot to mention about these guys, is that they have a history of like coming into fights not taking it seriously. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And for Garcia, it didn't work out for him in the Tank Davis fight, and I know he had a lot of shit going on like in his personal life, and then but it did work out for him in the Devin Haney fight where he was partying every night and drinking and going out
overweight as well.
Yeah. But you got to think to yourself, like, all right, thunder doesn't strike, like lightning doesn't strike twice, pardon me. And how long can a professional athlete at the top level keep playing those games and not slipping up? So that's where I will put my chances for Romero winning this fight, is maybe Garcia is overlooking him or not taking his fight seriously. Or back, like I said earlier, shenanigans, up to his old shenanigans, you know what I mean? Partying before the fight and all of that stuff. It might cost him this time round.
No, 100%. I think based on obviously what we've seen, especially again, you haven't watched the face-off. I think Garcia's taking it a little bit more professionally. I think he's taking it more seriously because I think he's desperate for that Haney rematch because he wants to prove that it wasn't because of the drugs. It was because he was just that damn good, and a little bit of Haney underestimating Ryan Garcia as well. So I think Garcia wins this. I think he drops Rolly in the first, and I think he drops in again in the fifth, and I think it's over in the sixth.
So I'm in the first,
Yeah, I think he's bro, that left hook and the hand speed as well from Ryan Garcia is crazy. I think Rolly's I just don't think Rolly's got the skills to deal with what Ryan Garcia has. And as I said, that left hook is something special. So I don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that Rolly won't hurt him in them 6 rounds. I think Rolly will drop him in like the third as well, and then it will shake Ryan Garcia up, and then Garcia will get back into it. But I think Garcia stops him within 6 rounds. I can't see it going past it. If this goes 12 rounds, then something's gone terribly wrong, and it becomes these men were more scared of losing than trying to win. And I can't see it with the way how both the styles are. I can't see them doing that. But people, it is going to be an exciting. That fight's going to be exciting, and that is why it is the main event on this card. But also on this card, you've got the man we mentioned him in the previous because of his fight with Ryan Garcia. You've got Devin Haney versus Ramirez, another welterweight bout, and Devin Haney has questions to answer for a lot of people. Like, we can say the whole thing about obviously the Garcia fight becoming a no contest, he was on drug, blah, blah. But the manner in which he lost has made people question 2 things about Haney. One is how he got absolutely outclassed by Ryan Garcia. But 2, there is this thing that he doesn't do well against fighters that are bigger than him. And he's coming up against a guy that is technically bigger than him in Ramirez. So from Devin Haney's point of view, he's got to do a little bit of rebuilding. And so would you see this as the perfect fight because he's taking on someone that is bigger than him, but at the same time, he's coming off a loss of the guy that's in the third fight on this card?
I think it's a very good fight because it's actually a very good fight for him to come back to because Ramirez is no joke. Olympian, 2-time world champion. Very, very good fighter. Very technically, very decent. But I think personally, like, this is the perfect fight for him. And as much as we all get on to Devin Haney, I have to give him credit. He has been taking good fights. Like, he's been
Oh yeah.
taking decent fights. I can't cap.
But the
And I think
problem
this
is
is the
the problem
yeah, go on.
with that is that all these guys have been smaller than him. So if you
Yeah, I
obviously he
agree.
took on what's his name, Cambosa, obviously did the 2 against Cambosa.
Prograis was
Yeah,
Prograis is about is the same in the same weight class, or
yeah,
probably was heavier than him.
and obviously
So I'd give
Lomachenko as well. He fought,
yeah.
so he
And
has fought.
arguably he might have lost that match.
Yeah,
So
he has fought elite fighters, so we
yeah.
can give him that. But that Garcia fight, in the manner in which it happened and the way how he beat him up. I know people are saying you can't go off the highlights because in the middle round, Devin Haney was kind of schooling him in boxing and da. But bro, like, he showed that he can A, get hurt, but B, there are flaws in his defense.
100%, bro.
Yeah.
This look on this fight, I personally think it's a layup. It's a tune-up fight, and the reason for that being is because he got the win overturned to a no contest, and that was all coming from him and his camp. None of the promoters cared. None of the commissions cared. It was all from him. It was all his campaigning to get that overturned. And then furthermore, it was like, well, in my head, and I'm sure a lot of people are thinking this as well, if you were so adamant that you lost because of whatever reason, to have that fight overturned, when we could all see it with our own 2 eyes, you got schooled. You got schooled, bro. The whole fight, you got schooled. There's no amount of drugs that are teaching you what Ryan Garcia done to Devin Haney in that fight. And they also have a history going back to the amateurs, you know, when they were kids and all this stuff, and having a few fights in the amateur ranks. Why are you not asking for the rematch then?
Well, apparently the rematch will be after this.
Yeah, so it's
card.
a layup. Yeah, it's a layup. It's a tune-up, bro. Which again, it's brought a lot of disrepute to the way that not only I view Devin, but a lot of the boxing fans view him as well. Because this should have really been Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney 2, in my opinion. Especially now with Turkish Milkshake in the, like, you know, you throw your number out, he's gonna pay you.
Yeah,
he's gonna make the card happen.
Yeah.
So, and given the sort of backstory between them, like, you know, there was all the reasons for this to happen, for this to come to fruition, and it didn't. But it just puts more of a stain on Devin Haney's name. Yeah, Cambosa was like, I give him credit for that fight. The Prograis fight, I think Prograis was over the hill by that point. Like, you know what I mean? He had his own sort of run in what was it, welterweight at the time, but it was long.
No, it was 140.
140, yeah, bro.
140,
Bro, I remember Regis from like 2016, 2018. Do you know what I mean? So for me, it's like Regis in 2022, 2023, whenever they fought, is not the same Regis that brought him to the dance. He's going to be a step behind. He's going to be a touch slower. And then Lomachenko, bro, this guy is a paperweight, bro. Do you know what I mean? He's a bro. It's like a child stepping up to fight him. So I don't give him credit for the Lomachenko fight. And even in that fight, as Loma does, he doesn't get schooled in any of his fights. You know what I mean? Even when he loses, it's still a very close, contested fight. So yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of shameless behavior after this fight from Devin Haney. He's going to act like he's fucking Sugar Ray Robinson, Muhammad Ali, and Floyd.
Yep.
Do you get what I mean? But yeah, man. Honestly, I don't know who this Ramirez dude is. If you guys rate him or not, but
I know who he is.
ST. Give us a little background on Ramirez.
So, like I said before, he fights. So he was originally he's fought Josh Taylor. He lost to Josh Taylor.
Yeah, he lost to Josh Taylor. Yeah.
But he's a very technical fighter. He's trained by Robert Garcia, a technical Mexican boxer, if you can say. Counterpunches pretty well. But it's kind of tailor-made in the sense that I think Devin Haney is a bit quicker. He's a former Olympian. So he has a very good amateur background. He's an overall very talented guy. But I think that because of Devin Haney's style, it's a very difficult style for Ramirez to beat. But no,
Just
he's a good
explain
fighter.
to the people Devin Haney's style, just in case they haven't seen him
So
fight.
Devin Haney is a very skillful fighter. Counter punches pretty well. He likes to. He's actually, you know how people copy their style of Floyd. He's got that Floyd ilk in that sense, but obviously nowhere near as defensively sound. He counter punches pretty well. He uses his jab and he's quite quick. So I'll give Devin Haney that. Very talented fighter. Doesn't have the most power. Isn't the most powerful, but technique-wise, he's very good technically. Yeah, so that's what.
He's not knocked out anyone, bro. When I come to think of it, bro, this guy's moving like the black Paulie Malignaggi, bro. Just bare decisions on his record, bro.
Yeah, he's not known as a power puncher.
He's not a power puncher.
He's more, as I said, he's more of a Floyd back end of the career where he's just outpointing people and schooling people.
Yeah.
The problem is he wasn't as entertaining as Floyd, and that's the problem. So people find him a bit like Shakur. They find him boring. In the style that he fights is boring, but I think technically he's very, very good. I think ST, you mentioned something which I think is massive in this fight, because the one thing with Ramirez is I did quickly watch his fight with Barbosa Jr. and Devin Haney using the jab is going to be one of his biggest weapons against this guy. He doesn't like people who use the jab well, but at the same time, Devin Haney's susceptible to that left hook, especially when he sits in the pocket too long. That's what Garcia did to him.
That's what Linares hurt him as well with that. People don't forget that Linares hurt him as well. Linares has got good skills.
Well, this
Linares,
is it. So for Devin Haney, he's got so much to prove in terms of just quieting the naysayers, and obviously, as Tu said, it can be seen as a tune-up fight because no one's really going to take you seriously unless you take on one of the guys at welterweight with the belts, not Barrios, but any of the others, or you get the Ryan Garcia fight and not only win the fight, but win it in style. That's the only way you're going to get the naysayers to say, all right, cool, yeah, maybe this guy is an actual real fucking deal. And what happened against Garcia was because of the drugs that was taken and whatnot. But until then, we just have to wait and see. ST, what are you saying for this one?
I'm going to go Devin Haney points. I think that the style is very difficult for Ramirez. And I also think Ramirez is towards the end of his career. Like, he's fought a lot of good fights. He's fought Josh Taylor and all them man there. I think he's a very good fighter, but I think it's almost time for him to step down a level, if I'm being honest. And I think Devin wins by decision.
Tooth?
I'm going the Mexican cab driver round 1 knockout, bro. You get me, bro? This Mexican plumber, bro. That's what I'm going with, bro. You get me?
Said Mexican plumber, you know.
Trust me on that, bro. Hey, fuck Devin Haney, bro. He will never get my vote of confidence, bro. Ever. You get what I mean? He needs to fight. This fight, all right, if he wasn't going to fight Garcia on this card, it should have been Shakur. That's the only way he was going to get a little bit of respect back.
All right, so we know Shakur is politics. We know Shakur is politics. So I'll allow him on that one. But definitely, Tooth, you're right. It should have been Garcia. I think Davis. I think Haney does win this on points, but I don't think it's going to be convincing, and I think he's still going to have question marks, and I think he's going to be even more careful than what he was prior because of what Ryan Garcia did to him. So I think there's going to be more questions than answers from this fight when it's all said and done, but it'll be interesting to see, because anyhow Ramirez does cause him problems. It's just going to be more people doubting him, and it's like, well, where do you go from here, sort of thing for Devin Haney. Excuse me. And the triple threat to this fight is Teofirmo Lopez versus Barbosa Jr. ST.
Good fight.
This is probably the fight that I know the least about. So talk to me.
Okay, so obviously, I think we all know how Teofimo fights.
Yeah.
His best performance, which was a Lomachenko performance, which I'd be honest, like he fought extremely well, deserved the decision there. Barbosa is not your
Undefeated.
typical
I know
Mexican.
that.
He's not your typical Mexican fighter. He likes to box on the back foot, which is very unusual for a Mexican fighter or Mexican American fighter. He's beaten Catrol, who's also a decent boxer. Beaten Ramirez himself. Technically, Arnold Barbosa is very good, but he doesn't throw enough. Teofimo, we know, is a talented boxer, but even with Teo, sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe rubbish. And we don't know what sort of style he'll come up with because Teofimo's beaten Josh Taylor, beat him comfortably, beaten Lomachenko personally for me, beat him comfortably. And a lot of other people he's beaten comfortably, but then he's fought really badly against Sandro Martin, fought really badly against Cambosis.
Well, that's his only loss, the Cambosis fight.
Yes, that is his only loss. But yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. So Teofirmo Lopez is a good fighter, but we don't know what Theo sums up. He seems motivated. So I don't know. I see Teofirmo winning, but Arnold Barbosa is tall. He can box, and it's not going to be easy.
It's decent. Tooth, I know you know nothing about who he's fighting, but from a Teofirmo, I know you know Teofirmo Lopez perspective.
Yeah.
What are you expecting from him in this fight?
Bro, it like ST said, bro, he can either make this fight really easy for himself or he can fucking make it really difficult. But I'm thinking that like from the way ST like hyped up this Mexican dude, he might not be a plumber, bro. We might have a legit contender here.
Well, he's
not a
undefeated.
plumber.
He is undefeated, and
Yeah.
Ramirez. I think is that Ramirez's only loss. I can't remember if that.
No, he's lost to Josh Taylor as well.
Yeah, he lost to Josh Taylor as well. But I think Ramirez was on the right. Yeah, because Ramirez lost 2 of his last 5 fights. Yeah. So he's all right. He's decent. He's got some name. He's got not obviously world class names, but listen, he's 32-0. He's beaten some decent fighters. So I think, because me personally, from looking at it, when I was looking at everything, I think this is probably going to be the most even match on the fight card. I don't know if ST will agree, but I think from looking at the way how things are, I think this will be probably the most even. But I think from what ST said is that Teofimo is so talented that he can make this look easier than what it could potentially be.
Well, he was, man. I remember watching again, like 2018, 2019, watching Fimo come up the ranks and just fucking smoke everyone, bruv. And with style, bruv. He wasn't just like knocking these dudes out. He was doing backflips in there, and he was a very promising boxer at that time. But as the years went on, we started seeing like, oh, you know, maybe he's got a short-lived prime. Maybe he's just not taking boxing seriously anymore.
That's what it was. He liked the limelight too much, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. And then you started seeing like, bro, he used to talk about, I remember this saying from him as well. He was like, oh, everyone's trying to be Money Mayweather, but they've not gone through the pretty boy stage. You know what I mean? And that's when I was like, oh shit, like, you know what? Fimo's the real deal. And then, you know what I mean? As soon as he beat Lomachenko, he turned into this.
You got gassed,
yeah, bro. He got gassed. He got way too gassed. He started loving the limelight. And then I believe, like, not shortly after that, he lost to Cambosis, which was a close fight. But again, I think no one has any reservations about Cambosis winning.
Yeah, because I think it was a split decision, that one.
Yeah.
I thought Cambosis won that, if I'm being honest, by a couple of rounds.
Yeah, so did I.
Teo let himself down there. I was thinking to myself, he wasn't even following the game plan. Then him and his dad thought, oh, we're just gonna knock this Australian bum out. That's what they were thinking.
Yeah.
Not how these Americans roll.
Yeah, proper. So it's a hard one to predict, but I'm gonna go with the Mexican dude on this one, bro. I think Fimo's had his fair share of the limelight, and now he's just in there to pick up checks. You know what I mean?
Who knows? But,
Yeah.
but as I said, the joke thing is this, yeah. If Teofimo boxes how I know he can and takes it seriously, he'll wash him. He can easily beat him.
Yeah.
It's one of them fights, but it's just what Theo turns up.
It's what Teofirmo turns up, and
Wasn't
that's
Fimo an Olympian as well? Did he not go to the Olympics as well?
No, it was an alternate.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so it was close.
Okay.
For real.
But
So for everyone, on alternate means if, for example, the first pick doesn't get for some reason gets injured and stuff, the second pick is the alternate, and he would have gone to the Olympics. Caleb Plant was the same. A lot of some fighters were the same. So
fair enough. And as I said, it's which Lopez turns up. He can either make it easy for himself or make it hard for himself. I think we're obviously, apart from Tooth, obviously going for Barbosa Jr. I think ST and I probably say Teo wins this, but again, you either make it easy or make it hard. I think in the other fights, I don't think it's one of those you make it easy, you make it hard for yourself. I think in this one, I think the class that Teofirmo has and what we know that he can do, he can make this look very easy and propel himself back into the talks with all the big names, because that's all that's what this card is more than anything else, is these guys trying to get back in with the talks with obviously Barrios and Boots and all the rest of it, all the rest of those guys, trying to propel themselves back in onto the top. And this is what we were saying in the review for Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn, is that you put Conor Benn against in with any of these guys, he loses. He loses, and that's the point. The point is that this is why we say he's not world level yet, because all these guys beat him. So it's a mad one.
And he's lucky they're not in his weight class.
But they're all boxing up. All these fights are at welter.
No, 140.
I'm sure all these fights are at welter.
Actually, no, they are welter. Sorry.
Yeah.
So they've only just that's weird.
Yeah. So I think a couple of them actually moved up recently, but because that's one thing I look for. But these are all welterweight fights. So listen, it's going to be an interesting card, very interesting card, and I think if you don't know now, you know. So definitely tune in, and then obviously we on that weekend as well. Is there any point Canelo versus my man? Let's be real. I
think the only reason, bro, we could brush over this, because I think the only reason this fight is happening was because Milkshake got involved, and he didn't want Canelo fighting TJ's day one, Jake Paul. So he threw him this fight.
Look, first of all, Canelo, the only reason why I'd ever want Canelo to fight Jake Paul is literally just to flatten him, bro. Literally flatten him. That's the only reason why. But we all know that Canelo should be fighting Benavidez. It's never going to happen. It's stupid that it's not going to happen. Turkey Alashake, if there's any fight that he needs to make, it's that fight that he needs to make, because it's ridiculous that it hasn't happened yet. I don't know anything about this Cuban Don. I don't need to know anything about this Cuban Don. The ST, you don't need to explain it. No one cares. We know that Canelo's going to win.
The only reason why he's taking the fight is because he's got the IBF title, and he just wants to get rid of.
Oh, is this undisputed?
No, because Mbili has also got another title, some Canadian guy. It's not great.
This is just nonsense.
Listen, bro. I want this dude to win, because of all the shit that Nigel Benn was talking about. This guy.
He was chatting mess.
Oh wait, what? Fill me in. Fill me in. What's this?
So basically, Ben, in one of the press conferences, William Scull was one of Conor Benn's sparring partners, and you know how you don't say stuff in sparring. He spoke about Denzel Bentley, the guy who knocked out Mungia Sarase, and he spoke about William Scull. And he was just saying how Conor Benn battered William Scull in sparring, made him quit.
Oh, so that's why, because Skull's come out and said something. I didn't watch it. Did you hear what he said?
I think he said something on Twitter or something. But bro, just like you, man, didn't give the guy the time of day, bro.
Yeah.
Just hope he beat it, bro. I hope he beats Canelo, bro. Just for that.
Or if he beats Canelo, boy, hey,
Hey,
listen,
listen, I can't lie to you. If he beats Canelo, yeah, like we will do an hour poddy on that, bruv. Just because, like, I'm sick and tired. I'm sick and tired. Like, this is the
Broad
this is
watch,
the
bro.
this is
Broad
the
watch.
100%. But this is what I hate because people always try and blame Floyd for these guys handpicking their opponents. But
But he's
Floyd
doing
was
madness.
fighting world champions.
Like,
This
don't
is
get
the
me wrong, Floyd
difference,
was,
bro.
but Canelo's worse. Canelo's fighting
Yeah,
ridiculous
bro, he's
guys.
fighting bums for no reason. And the one time he did have to step up, he got beat by Bivol. Do you know what I mean? I'm not giving him credit for stepping up to like heavyweight, bruv, because you should have fought Benavidez and you've been running away from that fight all this time. Now we got to sit here and watch this nonsense of you fighting Scull or whatever it is. No disrespect to the man, because at the end of the day, he's going to get a payday. But, bro, these aren't the fights that we want to see. So, anyway, Canelo
And then
wins.
he's fighting Crawford after. So
Which we will do a preview for, even though I don't want to see that fight either, because again, it's Crawford going up, but we're gonna do it because obviously they're two elite fighters, and we know Bud's our guy and whatnot, and so is Canelo. Even though I don't rate what he's done, but out of this fight right now, we're not doing no predictions. Canelo wins, second round knockout. We move on, bruv. To the final fight of the weekend, bruv, and this is a man. I think. In terms of us being boxing purists, we understand how great this guy is. But he doesn't get now the exposure is partly on his part because boxing mostly in Asia. But this fight is actually taking place in Vegas. So hopefully he gets the exposure because it's for the undisputed super bantamweight title, and it's Inoue versus Cardenas. Bro, Inoue, bruv. Like people, listen. People don't seem to understand just because this guy, like this brother, oh my days. And I didn't know until I think it was a few years back that Tooth and ST were having a conversation off camera and they were talking about this guy. And I was like, who?
Yeah, bro, the Super Six back in the day.
Bro, even before that, bro, I was saying, and even in his first fight, I was like, yo, this guy is cold. When I mean cold.
You is mad, bro. 29-0, 26 knockouts. He has stopped his last 10 opponents. And one of the, I think the last one, what is his name, bro? What is his name? Is it Donaire? ST? Donaire?
No, so he's beating Donaire, he's beating Neri, he's beating Kim.
No, the reason why I brought up Donaire is because Donaire was the last one to go 12 rounds with him. But then he went and beat him a few years later.
Knocked him out in the second round,
Yeah. Bro, this guy's 24-0 in title fights with 22 knockouts. And like, don't be wrong, when I saw the list of who he's fought, I can't lie to you, I didn't know who any of those people were. But what I do know is that they are world champions in there. So ST just, and obviously we'll let Tooth, because you two can go about this guy. Just let people know about this guy, bro, because he gets massively disrespected. Not because he's not good, but people just don't know what he's doing in the boxing world.
I'm gonna be real. It's because he's Asian, bro. Like they don't think Asian men can. They think them men are just silent. They can't fight and stuff like that. First of all, you don't understand. This guy is quick, skillful, good footwork, in between punches, technical, power. Hey, this guy is a problem. I will say though, defensively, he can get out sometimes. He has been down before.
Who did he got dropped? Who did he get dropped by?
Neri.
Okay.
The Neri punch is pretty hard. But even then, it was due to I would say overconfidence, and he also got hurt by Donaire once. But Donaire also punches very hard. But apart from that, honestly, technically, he's brilliant. Like, if you really want to understand how boxing is supposed to be boxed, he's one of the fighters you should watch. And also, he's exciting. This is what you can also be a very good fighter, talented, but if you knock people out at the same time, how can you be skillful knocking the same people out at the same time? That is long. And he's knocking out, and people don't realize because they don't watch the smaller weight classes. I watch all weight classes. The guys he's knocking out, they're really, really, really good fighters. And most of them, some of them don't get stopped at all usually in all these things like this, like Tapales and all these things like this. And remember, Inoue is very small. He's moving up and knocking these guys out as well in weight classes and becoming
as 248 would say, he's a paperweight, bro.
Yeah, bro. I'm telling you.
He's very small. He's very light, bro. He's what 122, bro.
Atom weight, blood.
126, bro. He's small. But what a fighter, man. Honestly, like what a fighter.
What you telling me about Inoue, bro?
But no, ST's got a point. Just to elaborate, like the lower weight classes are mainly
they don't get the love.
Yeah, they don't get a love at all. But I mean, when you look at it, like, what's the word I'm looking for? That's politically correct. Bro, it's only them man in Asia that can make those weights. Like when you bring it down to genetics and shit like that, bro. You know what I mean? And that's another reason why they don't really get much exposure in the West. But out in the East, bruv, they're followed. They're very much followed. They're very much admired. They sell out stadiums. They're like, you know, superstars out there. So it will be nice to see him break that barrier over here into the West. But it's one of them ones. If you know, you know. Like if you know, you know. This kid, I remember even before the Super Six, but he was still very green in it. He was still a prospect at that time. It was the Super Six. Well, I remember watching his fight with Donaire. Driving to the airport with my brother, we had it on the phone. We were watching it. I was like, bro, this kid he's not losing anytime soon, bro. He's not losing anytime soon. And he's had, ST said, he's had some challenges along the way, but he's still disposed of everyone in his way. But that's also a fact that I think when you're as good as he is in such a weight class, there's just the gap between him and everyone else is just so far apart that it's going to be difficult to find someone that could, you know, bring it to him or challenge him or even beat him. But yeah, I'm not expecting anything different from Monster in this fight, bro. I'm expecting him to go out there and just make easy work of whoever's in front of him. But, you know, we'll see. We'll see. I don't know who he's fighting, but, you know.
What this is, ST, he's fighting Cardenas. So again, you're going to have to talk to the people about this guy. But all I know is that this guy, he's pretty good, to be fair. He's on a 14-fight win streak. He's only lost once.
Yeah, he's a good fighter. Very good fighter.
Just tell the people obviously about him, and does in the realistic expectation, does he stand a chance? Will there be not saying that in terms of winning, but will it even be a challenge for Inoue, or will he just sleep him like he slept everyone else?
Personally, Cardenas is good, but his style is kind of tailor made for Inoue. He stands and likes to trade a little bit. He can box. He is talented, but I think Inoue's got this, man. I think Inoue is so hard. The only way I see Inoue getting beaten if he goes up too high, like to 130 and stuff like that, because he's very small and you can overpower him by that. But anybody 126 and below, bro, he's disgusting. But yeah, no, Cardenas is a good fighter. Like honestly, very talented. Jabs well, got good footwork. He's got good solid fundamentals. He's talented, but it's just not enough for Inoue, bro. Inoue will catch him. I'll be honest.
Sometimes you're just too damn good, bro.
That's what he is.
He said, I think it's one of them ones where he's gonna have to do a Pacquiao sort of thing where he has to go up until he finds a challenge. But unfortunately, certain times you're just too small. And it just becomes, So what's 130? What is that? Like featherweight or some shit?
Yeah, he's too small for that.
He's too small for featherweight. Okay.
I would say he's too small. 126 is probably the maximum he can go.
Which is what he's doing now. Super bantamweight. Is that super bantamweight or is that?
Yeah, so 118, 122, 126. Even if he wants to go at 130, he's gonna have to select people. But with him, he fights anybody. He don't care.
And bro, that's what we want. That's what we want in boxing and in MMA. We want those people that are just gonna fight anybody. No, obviously we want them to get their payday, their pay. But we want them to fight anybody because these are the fights that we want to see. And the fact that, obviously, and this is the other thing about Inoue, obviously the exposure that he doesn't get over here, which Tooth is right in terms of him being in Asia and whatnot. is at a detriment to him. But he fights any and everybody that he can, and he wins, and he sleeps people. Like if this guy was welterweight, middleweight, super, we be talking about him to the cows come home.
If he was from the West, we would, bro.
I think even if he was from the West, because of the weight class, he probably wouldn't get it, which is true. But as I said, if he was welterweight or up, we'd be glamorizing this guy, like I say, oh my days. But unfortunately, he's at a deficit because of the weight class that he's in and the area of the world that he's from. But as I said, this fight is taking place in Vegas. He is going to get the exposure in the US, and hopefully more and more people will see him. Because when you look at the professional pundits lists, you see that he's always in it somewhere. He's always in it somewhere. And people will be like, what? Who's that guy? But there's a reason for that, because this guy is that fucking good. And yeah, I don't see him losing. What do I give it? 5 rounds? I'll give it 5 rounds.
We'll see.
And he'll do it. But yeah, people, if you don't know, get to know, because this kid is the real deal. But yeah, that is the weekend up in terms of the fight. So you've got multitude of fights. I know most people will be tuning in for that stupid fight with Canelo and Scull for no reason, when everyone knows what's gonna happen. I'm gonna wake up on Sunday.
I doubt it, though. I doubt it. People watch. I reckon people watch the other one. I really think people watch.
Well, people should be watching the first card, because the 3 fights that are on there: Garcia, Romero, Haney, Ramirez, and Teofirmo and Ramirez.
Jr.
And Barbosa. But obviously, so that's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Your boxing's covered. Your boxing is covered, and obviously coming off of, as I said in the beginning, the warfare between Conor Benn and Eubank Jr. It'll be good to see a little bit of the technical aspect of boxing coming back. As much as we want the general warfare, we still want to see the technical style and the boxing IQ being used. And I'm not so much in Garcia Romero. That's not going to happen in that fight. That's going to be more of what you saw last week. But in terms of all these other fights, I definitely think that you will get that. But people, let us know what you think in the comment section. Let us know what you think about Rolly and Garcia. Who do you think is going to win? How long do you think that fight's going to last? Are you going to go with 2, a double win? Like, can we get the first ever double win in boxing? Let us know what you think about Haney and Ramirez. What are you going to give to Haney? Are you going to respect Haney after this fight? Teofirmo, who do you think is going to turn up? Is going to be good or bad? Do not talk about the Canelo fight. I don't want to hear from you about that, because we already know what's going to happen. What I want to see in the comment section is we need to get Benavidez and Canelo in the ring. That's what we need. We need. And in a way, do your research. Understand how great this guy is. Anyone that knows anything about Cardenas, I know ST obviously spoke on him, but that gives him a puncher's chance. Let us know in the comment section. We want to hear from you. And as usual, before we go, make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Get the likes up, get the subscriptions up, and say all the time, share. We are here. And don't forget to join our social media pages as well. Links are in the description. It's been a marathon for a Monday. So I want to say a very big thank you to my guys, Tooth and ST. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Thank you very much, man. The grind doesn't stop, man. Listen, we'll
Rastafari.
give you content, bro. Rastafari, we're giving you content, bro. We've all been to work. We've all come home. We're giving you this content. We're the only channel that does every single sport.
Exactly.
Come watch us.
I'm telling you, 100%. ST's 100% right. Coming up, we will be back if Arsenal lose. If Arsenal get outside the Champions League, we will be back. If they win, we won't be back. As we said last week, if somehow by some miracle in the next 2 weeks that the heavens above United somehow get to the Europa League final, then we'll possibly be back. Obviously, ST and I are gonna we're gonna definitely try and do something for Grand Slam track, because the Diamond League started as well. So I've let us talk. Could be possibly coming back, and And
Just don't say it, bro. Just don't. Just leave it on a cliffhanger, bro.
and that's all I'm gonna
I'll
say
say
is
it for
and.
you.
No, we're just
NBA,
gonna say
NBA.
and people and that's what we're gonna say and
dot,
Okay,
dot,
fair
dot.
enough.
that dot. That's what we're gonna say. But listen, people, thank you very much for tuning in. As I said, if you are watching this one, go watch the review of Eubank Jr. and Ben. If you come over from Eubank Jr. and Jen, Eubank Jr. and Jen, Eubank Jr. and Ben, thank you very much. Listen, people, stay safe out there, be safe, and we shall see you very, very soon. Peace.
Peace.